Hey guys, Luke here, back again at the 2021 Club BRP, showing off some new models, new products. Obviously all the dealers are getting their first look at all these things right now. Here's a product that Mark has already seen and ridden this winter. It's my first time getting my hands on it though. This is SkiDoo's new, it's not a new MXZ X, that's not what it is, but it's new configuration. And what they've got here, what you're seeing, is the new RAS X front suspension. Back down here to the rMotion X rear suspension, along with the Pilot TX ski. So we're using a lot of X's in the names this year. You might say this sled is somewhat X-rated, LOL, that's a dad joke, I'm sorry. So what we're looking at is the RAS X front end is the next evolution of RAS, obviously. It's 3/4 of an inch wider, but it's also an adjustable ski stance using spacers. So it can be even wider by another, I think, 1/2 inch or so, and then narrower as well, depending on your preferences. But right now it's 3/4 of an inch wider than last year's standard RAS 3 front end. In terms of geometry, the spindle, basically everything's been tweaked. You've got a little bit more travel, but the whole purpose behind this was to make the sled handle more predictably, more confidence-inspiring handling, and then handle bumps as well when you're running through the bumps hard, not to allow the front end to get overworked the way it tended to in the past. So now Mark's ridden this, and he said he was very impressed with how much of a difference it actually made. I, again, haven't ridden it. I'm obviously in Cancun, so that's not happening. But it's pretty interesting that SkiDoo went through and redesigned their entire front end. Now, if you just look at it at a glance, you really can't tell much difference, really. But it is different. The ski, you can definitely tell, is different. This is the Pilot TX ski. So this is the adjustable version. And this version of ski actually has the spindle, the adjuster, everything. It's all been tweaked. This is not the standard parts from last season. This is all new stuff. I think the ski hoop looks rad. It's got a really aggressive, cool look to it. The ski itself obviously is, I'm gonna use the word more beefy. It just looks beefier, it looks stronger, and it's got less flex. That was on purpose. The keel of the adjustable carbide is quite different. The ski itself has got a more aggressive keel. It's designed to just give you more aggressive handling and complement the front end of the RAS X. So we're pretty excited about that. I think that's going to be great. We'll swing around here and we'll take a look at the rMotion X. Now, the rMotion X actually has quite a few new features, and it is quite a bit different. The front arm is even longer. The rear arm is longer. You have more travel. This little feature right here is an adjustable cam that can lower or raise or lower the position of the rear arm on the rails. And what this does in the upper position is it keeps the front end of the sled down. It allows for less weight transfer when you come out of a corner. So the vehicle stays flatter, bites harder on exit of corner, doesn't wheelie as much, so that you can enter the corner aggressively thanks to the front end and the new ski, but then exit the corner aggressively as well thanks to the nose of the sled not lifting as much with as much transfer. Now, here's the thing. That's going to be great for some people who want that type of handling, and there's nothing wrong with that. Lots of people want that kind of flat cornering, flat exit. But some people really like how an rMotion works now, with a little bit of extra, a little bit of extra weight transfer out of a corner. And this isn't going to be ideal for them because they want it to handle the way the old one did. They like the way the old one handled. So all you got to do, takes you just a little while in your shop with some very small hand tools. You don't have to pull the skid, don't have to take the shocks apart. You just flip this chip over so the bolt is then on the bottom of that little eccentric aluminum cam. When you do that, it handles just like an old rMotion. regular rMotion non-X version, except you still gain the benefits of the extra travel and all the other things that this rMotion X gives you. But instead, when you hit the throttle, you do get the weight transfer. The front end will get lighter and handle just like the rMotion always has, which for some people is perfect. This skid is a claimed 5 pounds lighter, thanks to a lot of trickery, lightweight wheels, different taking away and adding material where it is and isn't needed. It's very interesting. Again, Mark rode this and he said that there is a difference for sure, noticeable difference. So that's good. It's not just fluff, it's actual, you know, it's steak. We all like some steak. Overall, the rest of the sled is very similar, if not the same, other than one other big feature. I'll show you that now. I can't show you it on. The new display, full color LCD display, excuse me. This is your control unit for the display. It has Bluetooth for your audio, all kinds of features. There's an app for your cell phone that can be plugged into the display and will give you turn-by-turn directions through the display, through the app on your phone. Pretty trick stuff, and honestly, I'm just going to come out and say it is about time that SkiDoo updated their display with something more impressive. That's all I'm going to say about that. Even the buttons up here, I don't know if you can see that or if it'll focus on that properly. The light's kind of wonky, but these buttons here will answer and end phone calls and do volume control. So that's pretty trick. I want to bring you guys a little more information on the gauge. This is the new gauge setup. Obviously not on a sled, but it's a really nice looking gauge. Customizable. Here's a cool gauge layout with miles per hour, RPM, all your different types of info. Temperature, fuel, your trip meters. Over here you got your volume level with your music, Bluetooth audio. Another gauge display with some more Bluetooth features, phone controls. As I said before, here's your control pad with buttons. More buttons down here to get you your phone, your settings. And you've got a mock-up phone here connected so you can see how it all works. Your controls on the top right here for phone and volume and stuff. I mean, it's a really nice looking setup, and it's something that SkiDoo has needed for a long, long time. Let's see if I'm doing this changes. There we go. Yeah, so you can cycle through your options, select one. Let's see if I can go back. Different trip meters. Go back home. What's this here? Music. Settings. Let's find out some settings. Units, display, clock. There's so much stuff going on here. It's ridiculous. Wow, what a setup. I think that's going to be a huge benefit. Another cool feature about this, though, is that part of the system is the storage box above the gauge that is heated for your phone. So it comes as a whole unit. It's obviously not pictured here, but when you buy the gauge or when you choose to upgrade to the gauge during spring order, that's part of the package. So the gauge itself isn't all there is to it, which is pretty neat. So anyway, I just wanted to give you guys another quick look at how the system works, what it looks like when it's actually on. Definitely a huge step in the right direction for SkiDoo.